guys. Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone watching, whether live or catching up later, is having a fantastic week. And I think maybe I had too much coffee, or maybe it's just that I have a lot going on. So my brain is on overdrive. But I'm Terry True Crime, and welcome to Midday Missing, where I highlight ongoing missing person cases in hopes of bringing more attention to them. And if you're new here, True Crime and Wine Time Productions brings you a variety of content, including the True Crime and Wine Time podcast, the Hey Ho Show, which, guys, is the place to go if you need some just outrageous laughter. You need to go hang out with those guys. And we have the investigation into the disappearance of Chase Lackey. And Night Court will be returning on October 6th with a new format. And we are also excited to announce, which I know I've shared here, upcoming launch of our new series, Dearest Mother's Darkest Secrets, which premieres for the public on October 2nd with early access for our paid members starting September 24th. Now, paid members will get every episode a week early. And I thought I would just share a quick little video for Dearest Mothers. Okay, guys, and I need to tell you, it is truly going to be the darkest series I've ever done. It goes beyond bunny boilers. I have yet to come up with a new name for bunny boilers. So if anybody has suggestions on what we call females who are just beyond bunny boiler, batshit crazy, insane, send it to me because I need a new word because bunny boiler just doesn't do it for what we've got going on with Dearest Mothers. Now, today I am going to cover a couple of cases, heartbreaking as always. But first, I want to share about Corey Daniely. I'm having trouble saying his name, but he is a well-known figure in the North Bay music scene, and he has been missing since August 7th, 2023. And as you can see from his photo, I mean, he's loving that guitar and he is an attractive guy. Now, he performed under the stage name Crumb Dread, which I thought was kind of interesting, but he was last seen in the early hours on his 33rd birthday, guys, in Kerman, California. Family and friends have been desperately searching for answers ever since he disappeared. And authorities are saying the more time goes, they suspect foul play in his disappearance. So, what happened on the night of August 6, 2023? Corey was visiting an acquaintance in Kerman, which is a small city in Fresno County, for those of you that don't know the Bay Area. And according to reports, he left the residence on foot around 3 a.m. on August 7th, which was his birthday. Now, at first, when I read that, I was like, wow, 3 a.m. But then I'm like, it's his birthday. He's a musician. They don't go to bed like 9 o'clock like I do because he's young. I'm old. But it was his birthday. But despite numerous attempts by his family to reach him via phone calls and text messages to say happy birthday, Corey never responded. And his family said the lack of communication was highly unusual and raised immediate concerns. He was one of those people that was going to get back to you. He was going to answer his phone and say, "Hey, I'm caught up right now. Can I call you back?" So he was much better about answering text messages than I am. But Corey's family reported him missing on August 9th after 2 days of silence. Because at first they were like, he's out partying for his birthday. We're giving him some space. But the same day, on August 9th, a friend of Corey's, Zach Stiles, posted a concerning message on Corey's Facebook page stating, "This is Zach Stiles, and I'm reaching out to see if anyone has heard from Corey yesterday or today. I have his phones and his belongings. Please let me know." Okay. My first thought, guys, if you had his phone, why didn't you answer it when it rang? Because you don't have to unlock a phone to answer it, I don't think. Maybe it's a setting, but that made me curious if the family had been trying to call him. Why wait 2 days? But following the post, Corey's family reached out to Zach for more information. Zach claimed that Corey had hitchhiked back to the North Bay after an altercation at the home where he was last seen. And Zach also mentioned that Corey left the house without a shirt. And Corey's mother confirmed this. I'm not sure how she confirmed this, if she, just heard it from multiple people. But adding to this mystery, Corey's personal belongings beside his phone were left, okay, which made it even more suspicious. Now, the Fresno County Sheriff's Office has classified Corey's disappearance as suspicious and does not rule out foul play. Okay. In the days following his disappearance, the Fresno County Sheriff's Office launched an extensive search and rescue operations. Teams combed through the surrounding areas, including the vast orchards, open fields, vineyards, canals, and ponds in nearby outbuildings. But unfortunately, they turned up no trace of Corey. Now, the home where Corey was last seen was also searched by police, but the police are not releasing any information to the public about that search, which I found that interesting. Now, in the Fresno area, in case some of you don't know, that up in the Bay Area, there are a lot of vineyards, but there are also a lot of farms. Some of the best white sweet corn I've ever had came from Brentwood, which is up in the Bay Area. So lots of places to search, and they're saying they searched it all. So I'm hoping they did. Now, Corey was more than just a missing person to family. He was a beloved musician with deep roots in the North Bay music community. Guys, he began his musical journey at the tender age of 6 when he received his first pair of drumsticks. 6, guys. I mean, that's impressive. His passion for music only grew, and he later joined the church choir and received a keyboard at age 12 from a fellow musician. Now, guys, Corey also is a father. He had a toddler at the time he went missing. So, families, this child, they need to know where he is. Corey became a prominent figure in the music scene with his band, and they were scheduled to perform on August 11th, just days after he disappeared, and he didn't show. Now, Joss Windmiller, the director of development at the Lost Church, a local music venue, described Corey as an integral part of the community, someone whose presence is sorely missed. And Corey is described as a 5 foot, 8 inch tall man weighing approximately 190 pounds with long dreadlocks and brown eyes. He was last seen wearing red sweatpants, Nike shoes, and no shirt, which, guys, I thought that in itself was interesting that he wasn't wearing a shirt. But I guess he decided to not wear a shirt. But if you have any information regarding the disappearance of Corey, please call the Fresno County Sheriff's Office at 559 600 3111. Now, his family and everybody in the North Bay community is wanting to know what happened to Corey as well as his family. Now, guys, I am trying to be all technical, and we know that is not my strong suit, but hey, a girl is going to give it a try. So, I want to share a picture of Layla, who we're going to talk about next. Her picture is a little smaller, so hopefully you guys are still able to see it. Ooh, that's too tiny. Sorry, guys. I tried to do this last minute, and as we see, I didn't succeed on that, but that's okay. Next, we're going to talk about Layla Dawn Adkins. She also is known as Layla Blizzard. I couldn't find anything about that a little bit more, but I thought that was interesting because I like the name Blizzard. But she has been missing since November 13th, 2008. Her last known location was in Leeds, Alabama, specifically in the 11,200 block of Shelby County Highway 41. And at the time of her disappearance, she was 32 years old. She was 5'11" and weighed around 120 pounds. Now, she did have some struggles previously in her life with prescription medication and other substances, but she was a devoted mother who kept in touch with her two daughters, even though she did not have custody of them. So, Layla last contacted her family on November 13th, 2008. She lived with a man on Highway 41 in Leeds, Alabama, but shortly after, like I said, she vanished without a trace. Concerned about her sudden silence, her brother and sister in law in North Carolina reported her missing 2 months after anyone last heard from her. 2 months. Now, in the weeks leading up to her disappearance, Layla had written letters to her daughters detailing her efforts to find a new job and her plans to build a future with the man she was living with at the time. She had even expressed a desire to cook Thanksgiving dinner for him and eventually move into an apartment together. These hopeful plans stand in stark contrast to her just disappearing. So, because she was doing that, leads you to think she did not just decide to go missing on her own. Um, the Shelby County Sheriff's Office took up the case, but guys, the investigation has been challenging from the start. 2 months later, and it was a brother and sister in law, not the man she was staying with, who reported her. And the boyfriend at the time claimed that she had moved out and that he believed she was in Houston, Texas with the man she had been communicating with on Facebook. However, authorities tracked down this man. He said he hadn't seen Layla in years. So maybe she reached out to an old high school acquaintance or something, but just because you talk to somebody on Facebook doesn't mean you're going to run off and see them. And as you can imagine, that conflicting information made police a little bit more suspicious. Now, further complicating the case is a warrant issued for Layla's arrest in January 2009. She pled guilty to theft and drug possession in 2008 and was given a conditional suspended sentence. The warrant was issued due to her failure to comply with the terms of her sentence. But despite these issues, her families remain adamant that something happened to her. She did not just decide to walk away. And as I've said before, aliens did not come down from the sky and beam her up. Okay. Now, when investigators checked the house where Layla was last known to be staying, they found it unoccupied and none of her personal belongings were present. And guys, that left police with not a lot to go on. Now, investigators did conduct a polygraph test on Layla's first ex husband and her father, but her housemate at the time refused to take the test. So not only did he say he thinks she's in Houston, Texas, he refused to do a lie detector test. Now, that to me doesn't make you automatically suspicious because I personally wouldn't take a lie detector test, but I will say if Double H goes missing and everybody else is doing a test, I'm gonna talk to an attorney and have them go with me, but I will do it, um, just so they can move past me unless the attorney told me not to. But Layla's daughter, Caitlin, has been very vocal about her frustrations with this investigation. She expressed her belief that the involvement of drugs in her mother's life may have led authorities to take her case less seriously. She said, I hate to say it, but I don't think the police take as much consideration when drugs are involved. And she laminated the limited contact she and her family have had with the authorities working on this case. Guys, something I have learned in the Chase Lackey case and with investigating and covering other missing person cases, I want to say her daughter is absolutely right. I have yet to be proven wrong on that. I would love to be proven wrong, but I know for sure Harris County doesn't take a case as serious if you were involved with drugs, which the person is still a person. They're still a human. They're still somebody's child. They're still somebody's loved one. So Caitlin has struggled with the lack of closure because the family has not declared Layla legally dead, nor have they held any form of a funeral or memorial service. So this isn't the same as death, Caitlin said. With death, you have the opportunity to grieve properly. With this, you don't get to grieve because you don't have any answers. Caitlin says she has found some solace in watching other stories of missing persons and connecting with others who have faced similar situations. As the years have passed and continue to pass, Layla's disappearance remains a haunting mystery for her family and friends. Police say they are still investigating. We know my thoughts on that, but there is hope for answers. And those who loved Layla continue to search for the truth behind her sudden and unexplained disappearance. Now, the cold case squad says they continue to seek information and they will follow up on credible leads. So if you have any information about Layla, please call the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. They can be contacted at 205 669 4181. And guys, you can also submit tips online at shelbyso.com. And gonna be honest and say, it does not say that it is anonymous. So I am gonna go out on a limb and say it is not anonymous. So just keep that in mind. Okay. So I'm also going to ask you guys, please share the missing person flyers that are posted on our True Crime and Wine Time Facebook page so that we can help these families get the word out about their loved ones. Now, today, I don't have a cute story for you. I do not have anything lighthearted, and I'm not going to give you tips on what to do. Instead, I'm going to give you tips on what not to do if a loved one goes missing. Okay, guys, I got to thinking, I'm always telling you what to do or what you should do. And I decided, there's just as long a list of things not to do. Okay, so let's get ready. Don't wait to report the disappearance. Time is critical. You do not need to wait 24 hours. Report the person immediately. Do not clean or disturb their personal belongings. You want to leave everything as is in case law enforcement needs to search for clues, fingerprints, or DNA evidence. Now, one little caveat I'm going to say, take a picture of the stuff. Don't touch it because as we learned in the Chase Lackey case, his family took pictures and because of that was able to prove that somebody went into the house after he went missing. So you do I would say take pictures, but do not touch anything. Do not withhold information. Be completely honest and provide any and all details, even if you think it's small and it not be relevant. Okay. Also, do not delay checking hospitals and shelters. Call them all, call rehab centers, do whatever you have to. If you know they hang out at a bar like Cheers, call Cheers. Okay. Also, do not rely on social media only for help. Social media is helpful, but it is essential to engage with law enforcement, local authorities first. Once you get that police file, that report number, then go to social media, then go look to organizations. Also, do not ignore potential leads. No matter how small or trivial, inform the authorities about it. Guys, I can tell you that in the Chase Lackey case, some information that we've recently received that we'll be sharing on an update soon. Somebody thought it was a very small, didn't really matter, but they went ahead and called. It led us to several things and is opening a nice little Pandora box. So even if you think it's very small, do it. Okay. Go ahead and share. Also, don't assume the person will come back on their own. I mean, some cases resolve quickly, but you want to treat it seriously. Waiting a day, waiting a couple of days makes it more difficult for police to follow up. Okay. Don't approach the media too early. What I mean by that, don't call the media before you have a police report number. Okay. Sometimes we think, oh, let's just get the word out. You want to call the police, so you don't want to approach the media too early. And also, guys, you don't want to isolate yourself. It's a time to lean on friends, family, and support groups because you're not prepared for this. I cover missing person cases, and I have to tell you, I would not know exactly what to do. And I worry I would have a tendency to try to just hang out in my own little world because I wouldn't want to bother other people. You're not bothering other people. So don't isolate yourself. Also, don't hesitate to follow up with authorities. Be persistent because I am a firm believer that the squeaky wheel gets attention. Um, I can tell you that families that I talk to about missing person cases, when they say, "Yeah, we haven't heard from law enforcement in 6 months," and I'm like, "Well, have you called them?" "Oh, I didn't want to bother them." Bother them. Okay, so don't hesitate. Just do it. Don't ignore your intuition. Okay, guys, if you have a gut feeling about something or someone, share it with law enforcement. I believe there are some of us that have a unusual knack for gut feelings. For example, my younger son, I can tell you when something's going on, even if I haven't talked to him or seen him. I just get a feeling, and I've been right every time. So do not ignore your intuition. Okay. Follow your gut. Also, guys, and I really want you to listen to this one, do not confront someone you think is a suspect or had something to do with it on your own. If they did something to your loved one, what's to stop them from hurting you to keep the secret quiet? So do not confront suspects on your own. If you suspect someone may be involved, okay, tell the authorities and let the authorities handle it. Also, that prevents you from jeopardizing the investigation, okay, so that the person can be brought to justice if they are involved. Also, it's your safety, okay? Don't share unverified information publicly, okay? Spreading rumors or unconfirmed details can hinder the investigation and can cause unnecessary panic. Now, when I read that one, I got to thinking that about like what's happened in Chase's case, even in Bianca's case, who we covered, that sharing information that you can't verify because the person isn't here is different than spreading a rumor. Okay. A rumor would be, oh, so and so told me that Jack had something to do with it, but yet you've never talked to Jack. You've never done anything. You don't want to tell somebody that. Okay. Tell law enforcement so they can check it out, but you don't want to just share that. And don't forget to check their digital activity. Okay. Do not log into their account yourself because that could ruin the evidence chain. You can, however, from your account, see when was the last time they posted, when did, they go on to Snapchat. You can do all of that, but do not log in yourself. Okay. Also, don't handle the media alone. If a reporter calls you and wants to interview you, have a loved one with you or a law enforcement person or an advocate. Okay, because you want to make sure that you don't disclose something the police do not want you to share. One of the reasons law enforcement keeps so much to the chest is because family members, there's so many emotions going on. You're not thinking as you normally would, and you might share information that they don't want you to share. So you want to have somebody with you. Okay. Another thing, don't forget to notify their workplace or school. Okay. Guys, I hadn't thought of that. And I was like, oh, crap. And then I got to thinking, I wouldn't know how to contact Double H's boss if he went missing. Luckily, I know some of the people he works with. I could reach out to him on LinkedIn or Facebook. So you want to notify workplace or school. Okay. It also, what doing that, maybe their employer or coworker will say, yeah, so and so was acting really strange yesterday. She mentioned somebody made her feel uncomfortable. So you want to do it so they're aware, but also because they might have information. Okay. Also, share any notable changes with investigators. So don't discount it. Okay. So if you know that your loved one all of a sudden in the last couple of weeks doesn't seem to be sleeping, tells you they're only sleeping a couple hours at night, they have a lot on their mind, share that with the police. Okay. Don't overlook reaching out to community organizations. Okay. You want to get those resources or volunteer help to do searches. Here in Texas, Texas EquiSearch is amazing. Now, to use them, they do make you go through law enforcement, but there are so many other organizations that don't. Also, don't agree to meet strangers alone if they claim they have information. Okay. Always involve law enforcement. Do not get a message on Facebook and they say, I have information. I will meet you here. Do not go meet someone alone. That doesn't mean just take another loved one. You want to take law enforcement or somebody with you. Okay. Also, don't lose hope. Okay. Or stop advocating for your loved ones. Persistence is crucial. And you want to keep the lines of communication open with authorities and continue to spread awareness. But guys, it's also okay to hold law enforcement accountable. Okay. Now, this next one I thought was a little interesting. Do not pay a ransom. So, what I'm going to say on that, do not pay a ransom without law enforcement being involved. So, I mean, because I have to tell you, if somebody, took my granddaughter and they said I could get her back for $20,000, I'd probably do it. But I would call the police, tell them, and let them set it up, be watching. So don't don't try to do that on your own. Also, this one is very critical. Don't withhold information due to promising of secrecy or fear of embarrassment. Even if your loved one shared something with you in confidence and made you promise to never tell, or if you're worried about damaging their reputation, guys, it's more important to find them than their reputation. So it's crucial to share all relevant details with law enforcement because every piece of information helps and it could be vital to finding them. Okay. So that was our palate cleanser for today. How about a lot of Terry's telling you what not to do? So a little different than Terry telling you what to do, right? But I do want to thank you all for joining me today. And I do look forward to seeing you all again on Monday. But guess what? Don't forget, me and JT will be live tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Central for True Crime and Wine Time. And guys, we are covering religious crimes. I don't know about JT's case, but my case is dark, batshit crazy, bunny boiler crazy. It is creepy and it'll make you all question a lot of things. So be sure to join us for that. Subscribe to our channel, hit that little bell so you will get notified. And don't forget, you can also join our Facebook group, follow us on our social media channels, and our podcast you can get on all of the podcast apps. Another thing I want to share, and I'm just going to share a little teaser. And I did not tell JT or the producer Llama I was doing this. So hopefully I'm not going to get my hand slapped. But we have a really big announcement coming out, a really big one. And we will share it on October 1st. Nothing until then. But I just thought I would tell you now so you can all sit there and go, what possibly could it be? And no, it is not that JT and I are going to run away to Aruba. It's something much better than that. I promise. So I want to thank you all for joining me today on Midday Missing. Please go share Corey and Layla's missing person flyers. The more we can share, the more it gets out there. And it also lets the family know that their loved ones are not forgotten. There's people who do not know their loved ones who still want to do what we can. And what we can do is help spread and get the word out. So until tomorrow, guys, stay safe, watch out for crime, and enjoy your wine time. Bye, guys.